Hey, how's it going, you guys? So I wanted to have a conversation about UFC 221, which was pretty awesome. Pretty excited that Yoel Romero won. I'm pretty bummed out that he didn't become the interim champion. Um, you know, with him having lost to Whitaker before, you know, it's kind of, you only get some certain opportunities, you know what I mean? And I don't know if he's going to be able to become the undisputed middleweight champion. Obviously their first fight was close. He did have some significant moments within the fight, but at the end of the day, Robert Whitaker is gritty, and he withstood a lot of what Romero was trying to dish out, and he was able to have a deeper gas tank, and he just outlasted and outworked Romero in that fight. I feel like in the long stretch, so. If they're going to have a rematch, obviously I believe Whitaker is going to be the favorite heading into that one. Romero did look impressive in this victory. Obviously it's against another former champion. He has a tendency to knock out former champions, which is which is pretty amazing. You know what I mean? That's why I've always been a huge fan of Romero's. I like his style, his tenacity, and he's methodical about it. You know what I mean? He's not the type of fighter that's going to get in Robbie Lawler type brawl and just, obviously, but no disrespect to Robbie, you know what I mean, but it's just a figure of speech, you know what I mean. It's just yeah, he's just super methodical and calculated about when he's gonna explode and when he's gonna try to inflict damage on the opponent, and he picked the right one on Saturday night, the right time. And obviously after that big fail of not making weight and not being able to be eligible for the interim title, when obviously you get a second crack at UFC gold, you know what I mean? Those are big opportunities, and sometimes people, it passes them by, you know what I mean? An opportunity could pass a person by, so it's I'm happy to see him become, obviously, oh yeah, another winner, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like it still feels like he became the interim champ, you know what I mean? Because everybody knows how badass he truly is. He just knocked out Luke Rockhold, so yeah, it's pretty crazy. But at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. And shout out to Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades came through, you know what I mean? He was the first time where he had a big stage, and he came through, and he took a veteran like Mark Hunt, so that says something. And props to him, and I like how he had good sportsmanship, so that's something I wanted to highlight on Urban Vinyl Media. And then something that, like, I want to talk about too, good sportsmanship. That's awesome. People respecting each other before and after the fights. That's what I'm all about, you know what I mean? I'm not a person who's into violence per se. Like, I do understand that this is a competition, so I like seeing who's the better competitor, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean, I like seeing the true colors in people. Or not to say that, I like to see people actually being kind towards each other, you know what I mean? Because obviously your true colors sometimes people could be mean and stuff like that. But no, that's cool that there was actually a bunch of great fights in Australia, so I'm sure all the fans had a great time. So UFC Australia, they'll be back in a year or two. But no, yeah, so now we're gonna be heading into UFC 222, and we're definitely super excited about that. There was a replacement. Before it was Holloway, now it's Brian Ortega, and I have documentation, proof, letting people know that I actually predicted that replacement before it was even called, and I have proof of the things that sorry, I'm pretty baffled by, like, how all this turn of events is coming about, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, Brian Ortega is in. It's not the main event anymore. Now it's the co-main event. Now Cyborg is going to be the main event. So if you guys are going to put money in on UFC 222 in March 3rd, that one's going to be in T-Mobile Arena, I would suggest to put money on Brian Ortega, because he is the promising underdog. And if you pay attention to anything that happens in mixed martial arts world, promising underdogs usually become the #1 contenders, and then they become champions. Obviously, sometimes people are favorite, but I think right now the odds makers are looking at Frankie Edgar's name and his popularity, as opposed to Brian Ortega's confidence in his winning streak, undefeated 12-0. I believe he might be going on 13 now. So, dude, come on. Brian Ortega, T-City, Cali all day, baby. Peace.